So today, as you can tell, we have an iPhone 14 Pro Max. It's been damaged on the back, damaged on the front, and if you look really carefully on this side, you can see it has a dent in it. This is a iPhone 14 Pro Max, and I'll put a link in the description to where you can find all this. There's a little seal you can put on there that comes with it. And here's the screen itself. As you can tell, only has one connection. So I always like to take that and kind of lay it over the phone so you know exactly where that connection is. So when you're on this end, just be careful. And this screen's pretty tore up, so it doesn't really matter when you're taking it off how rough you are. But if, for example, if you had one that had a screen that you didn't want to break, or if you're replacing something else, you'd want to be very careful. So let's work on that. Alright, so we're going to start by taking off the screen. You're going to want to have a Penelope screwdriver. This is kind of the same Penelope screwdriver you take off just about every iPhone. There's going to be 2 screws down here on the bottom. Most iPhones are the exact same way. And you're just going to take them out. I have a little magnet catcher down here, which if you're in a room that has carpet, I would highly suggest getting one. If you do it on like tile or the floor, and the screw falls off and you can find it, but if you happen to drop it in carpet, it's really rough. You can still get it, but just a little more work. Alright, so we've taken out the 2 Penelope screws. And now we're going to take a pry tool. You can get these all over the internet. They're called iSesamo tools. This is just one that came with one I had. And then here's a heat gun. You can use a hairdryer, but I would highly recommend getting a heat gun. You'll be able to do this 10 times faster with a heat gun than you will a hairdryer. Now, since this screen is already cracked and busted, I want to say it'll come out pretty easy. But if you have a screen that's brand new, make sure to take your time and really go slow. Now, if it's already damaged, it's not such a big deal. Just remember, we already checked the screen over here. This is where the connection is, so when we pull it out, make sure you're aware of this connection. And that was the only connection there was, so we're just going to heat up the edges and start prying. Like I said, this screen came off pretty decent, but like I said earlier, this one's broke, so I can be a little more forceful on it and not really worry about anything. Once you open it up, you're going to notice that there's a cable right here attached, and there's a cable right here attached, and there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 screws to get this one out, and this cable looks to be under here, so it looks like there's another 2, so we'll kind of go in this phone together and see. So this is a little tri-wing screwdriver. I'll leave a link in the description where you can get one of these, but if you just type in like an iPhone 14 screwdriver kit, it'll come with one of these. On exactly how you took them out. Like, I'm taking this one out of the bottom right. I'm gonna lay it over here. This one's coming out the middle. And so on. You just wanna do this every time. It just makes it a lot easier when you're putting everything back. And I don't know if you've ever heard of long screw damage, but if you put a short screw, or you put a long screw where a short screw is supposed to be, you can damage your phone, you can damage components. I got a little screw stuck in there. And now you can pull this little shield out. Once you do that, you have access to this cable. Pull that cable off, and then right here there's another cable you can pull off as well. So that screen is off. we'll lay that to the side for right now. But once again, 2 screws right here. Just gonna take them off. Lay them over here on this little mat. And all that does is help you. And those 2 screws look about the same size, so if you were to accidentally mess that up, they look like they're the same size screw. You're gonna have to take this off right here. So I always like to heat up anything that has adhesive. You don't wanna kill it with heat, but you wanna put some heat on it. And that way when you start prying, it just comes off a lot easier. Because you don't wanna pry something off that is not supposed to come off. And then you're just gonna take that and put it right back on your new screen exactly how it was on the old one. Put this little guy on. Grab your screws in the way that you had set them out. We're gonna hook this up, and I don't know if this phone has power or not, so we're gonna hook it up and see real quick and see if anything will come on the screen. I have high hopes that everything is completely fine with this phone. So we plugged it in, and we're getting the charging sign at least, so that's a good sign. So far, it's a good sign. Even though it was beat up as bad as it was, I think it's still gonna work and everything's gonna function just fine. I just don't know how it's gonna fit when we put it on there. It doesn't look right now like it's gonna let me turn it off. There we go. So we're gonna disconnect it for right now. We're gonna let it power off, because I don't know if you can tell the screen's still a little light. There it goes. And I'm gonna go ahead and put all these screws back. That while I was putting it on there, I didn't accidentally break the screen or anything. I don't think I did, because I really didn't have to force anything. And we're gonna power this phone back on. And all fingers crossed that there's no damage of whatsoever of any kind. And as of right now, it looks okay. But like I said, if you didn't have the dent, this would be way quicker, way simpler. You just put it on like nothing. Like I said, you kind of test this touch screen. You just press 1, 2, 3, and just go down the line and make sure everything works. That's the only way you can really test it, when somebody has their passcode on. And all right, I'm gonna get a hold of the owner and let him know to come check out his phone and see what he thinks. And I really feel the way it is right now, we could just put a case on there and it would be completely fine. But like I said, if you didn't have, you would be good. Oh, and there's this too. You can also lay this on here. This is the seal. This isn't the waterproof seal. This is just a seal that goes around there that helps keep the foam down and help stick it. Sometimes I put it on, sometimes I don't. Usually with these newer phones, they're so fat and so thick that when they go down, they have a good grasp. So I don't use these too much, but they do have some waterproof seals that you can put on that are very similar to these. And you put it around there, and like I said, once you open the phone, it's no longer really waterproof. Not that it was waterproof before, it's just water resistant. But if you don't put the seal on, and it's a waterproof seal, not this. This is just like extra adhesive to make the phone stick down better. But I've never had a phone, especially one of these newer ones that are so thick on the bezel. Like, I don't know if you can see this, but it's real thick. And these, when they go down, man, they just really grab pretty easy. And most of the time they stick to the old adhesive. But you can always put it on yourself. And like I said, I'll leave a link in the description also for the waterproof sealant if you want to do that. I keep saying waterproof, but it's water resistant. Hopefully you got something out of this. The last thing I'm gonna do here is take my Penelope screws, and I'm just gonna put them in the bottom. I just want him to look at it first and make sure he's good with it. Therefore, I have less stuff to take out. But other than that, that's it. And have any questions, concerns, let me know. If you want to know how it worked for him, leave a link in the comment, or leave a comment and I'll let you know. But I appreciate you guys for watching. Those of you guys that watched for a while, thank you. Like I said, this is an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and we just replaced the screen. I'll leave a link in the description for the screen, for all the tools seen today. And anything that you are curious about, let me know, and I'll try to leave a link.